talk about we're going to create a new file for modifying strings. So we call it modify string.py. And in order to modify our strings, we start with changing all of the characters to uppercase from lowercase, or whether it's uppercase or lowercase, doesn't matter. So let's define a new string. New string equals, for example, hello world. Hello world. And suppose we want to change all of the characters and letters into uppercase. So here we have letters which are uppercase, so it doesn't change the other characters, including this exclamation mark, to uppercase because it's not a letter in the first place. So to do that, we write new string dot upper, and this makes our string into uppercase. So modified string equals new string dot upper. So let's print modified string, print modified string. And so let's save this, and Python 3 modify string that's py. And okay, this is actually not showing us what we need because it does not have parentheses. So if we want to show the result of this hello world with all uppercases, with uppercase letters, we need to have parentheses after dot upper. So let's save this and rerun the code, and as you can see here, all the letters are converted into the uppercase letters. So if you want to have all of them into lowercase, change them to lowercase, we can modified underline lower, modified underline lower equals and here we can write modified. We can change either modified string or new string, doesn't really matter, because they all have some lowercase, uppercase and lowercase letters. And modified string has all uppercase letters, so we want to convert them all into lowercase. So we can print the modified lower. So let's see the result this time, and as you can see, they're all converted into lowercase letters and uppercase letters. And one of the most important functions that we use for modifying strings is split. So there are so many times when we want to read from a text file or an Excel file or a CSV file or whatever file there is. They're all stored in a string, and it's a very long. It might be a very long string. It might be a JSON file or whatever. And for example, they all have comments that separates different parts from each other. But all we get is a kind of a string, like let me define it, declare it, long string. And for example, we've given this kind of a string containing, for example, different names, and it starts from the very first to the very last, and there are, for example, 100 names, 1,000 names, and we want to separate them from where there are commas. For example, there are names like this: Jack, Thomas, and for example James, Tim, and so on. And there could be other names, Ali, and more names. So we want to divide this string and divide this string into 5 different parts. To do that, we use divided. We first declare divided string, and in here we can write long string dot split, and inside of parentheses we're going to first use a quotation mark, because we're going to say which part of the string is going to split this string into different parts. So as you can see, there are 5 commas here, which are separating different parts of the string. So we use comma here, and let's see what happens for divided string. So let's print divided string. So let's save this file and see what we get. So we get an array containing different parts of this long string. So actually the string is converted into array, and this split function is kind of a converter from the string to the array. So this makes things much simpler and easier. So as you can see right here, we've got an array of different names, but this is stored in string. So we've got this from a text file or an Excel file, CSV file, JSON file, whatever there is. We want to separate this string into different parts so that we can later use this array and get all of these names one by one in terms of from the order of the written string. So for example, if you want to get the first name or the second name or the last name, you can use this statement right here, divided string, and you can call the first part of this array that is the result of splitting this string, and then use Python 3 modify string.py, and as you can see, it shows Jack as the first part of the string. Or if you want to get the last one and you don't know the length of this array, you use length of divided string, which is an array. So whenever you want to know the length of an array, you can use len as the function len, and inside the parentheses you write the name of the function, and because it starts from 0, so we need to write -1 so that it shows us the last part of this string. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So here it's the 6th one, but because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it starts from 0, it doesn't start from 1, although it's the 6th part, but it will be the 5th one. So I hope you understand it, but let's run the code and you will simply get it. Okay, as you can see, it shows the 3 dots here, which is the last part of this string or array. There are so many different functions you can use to modify strings. For example, you want to change all of the commas into semicolon, or you want to change all of the J's into H, or something like that. You want to change one certain character in your string and convert it into something else. Okay, and so in order to do that, you can use this long string one more time, and you can declare changed string and define it this way: long string dot. So as you can see, we have different attributes of the string. So if you forget kind of forget an attribute or a function, you can simply use one of these attributes given for a certain string. So it knows that it's a string. VS Code IDE knows that this is a string, and it gives you the list of functions you can use in order to modify this string. Anyway, so right here we want to convert these commas into, for example, a semicolon. You can use replace, and as you can see, we have replace in the list of functions that can modify the string. And inside the parentheses, we write the quotation, so don't forget the quotation. And the first one is the one that we're going to change. So here we have comma, and we want to change it into semicolon. So we write in the second part, we write the one is going to be changed in. So let's save the code. Also, don't forget to print it out in the console. So print changed string, and let's run the code. And as you can see here, the string is changed into Jack, semicolon Thomas, semicolon James, Tim, Ali, and so on. So as you can see, this character comma changed into semicolon. Anyway, there are moments when you want to remove the empty spaces inside the string. For example, you've got a string, another string, and name it this way. For example, space, my name is Muhammad, and we've got a space at the end. And as you can see, we have spaces in the beginning and in the end, and we want to remove these spaces so that it looks much better. In order to do that, we can use the strip function. So we can use modified another string and another string dot strip, and don't forget to use the parentheses. So if we run this, we should also print modified another string and save this. Let's rerun it. And as you can see, we don't have these spaces at the beginning and in the end. And if you want to make sure that it has worked correctly, you can also print another string right here. So you can write another string. So let's save it and run it. And as you can see here, we have a space at the beginning for another string, and for the modified one, we don't have any spaces.